Como é que é, pessoal? Bem-vindos novamente ao Undergrounds Voice ao vivo. Hoje tenho o prazer de receber aqui o Sheridan, guitarrista dos Fit for an Autopsy. Man, thank you so much for being here. It's a huge honor for me to meet you and to receive you here at Undergrounds Voice from Portugal. I'm a huge fan of the band, so it's really great for me. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate that you enjoy what we do. It's always nice to be interviewed by somebody who knows our work, so
Yeah.
that's really great.
Well, the new album, Oh, What the Future Holds, will be released at January 14. Is this album a continuation of the Sea of Tragic Beasts with new elements after the 10th anniversary of the first album, or are you just trying something new? Or both?
It's a little bit of both, I would say. Honestly, we're constantly trying to upgrade and do better and make better music and move forward as a band. So I would say it's both. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, you always want to improve and you always want to make it better, but it always moves forward. So I would say it's us trying to move forward and make our music better, but also still sound like Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah. Well, Far From Heaven, Pandora, and In Shadows are the three singles already released. In my opinion, Pandora is one of the best songs in your career so far. I really love that song. I really love that song. So are they the best representation of what this album is?
I think the singles are always the ones that we want to release first because we believe that they are the ones that kind of have the most grab appeal. But the record it's the deep cuts on the record, the ones that you're not going to hear as singles. Some of them are better in my opinion than the singles. I think we're going to release one more single right before the record comes out. But there's a couple of songs on there that we didn't do as singles that, in my opinion, are some of the best works on the record. It's just different. Wow. You want to release things as singles that are like going to grab the audience or be like, oh, this sounds crazy or this is nuts. But then you want to hide a couple of tracks on the record. So when people go in and listen, they go, oh, this could have been a single or that could have been a single. So I would say it's a good representation of what to expect on the record, but there's so much more on the cuts that are not going to be released as singles that if you actually listen to the whole record, you'll see like we did a thing. So it's a pretty good record.
I'm sure it is. And how's being the feedback about these new songs so far?
People seem to love it. It's always a thing where people will say things like, oh, well, I like this better, and they could have done this, and they could have done that, before they even hear the whole record, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to write the same song 15 times, you want to give people the ability to experience new things that you have creatively in a way where it sounds reflective of what you used to do, but it's new. No one wants to drive the same car forever. No one wants to do that. So, it's one of those things where we want to move forward. So we're going to create new music, and there's always going to be the skeptic that's not going to love what you do and not going to give the record a chance because they hear one song and they're like, oh, whatever. So people have loved what we're doing. And there have been people that say, oh, well, I like Hellbound better, or, oh, I like this, that. Try not to take it too seriously. But the fact is this is the most positive feedback that we've gotten from anything we've done in quite a long time. And there has been more of it, more people listening, more people tagging us on the internet. Like I do a thing a couple of times a week where I try to go in and interact in our Facebook page with people that tag us. And sometimes it takes hours because there's so many things. So while there have been, a few people that have been like, oh, I like this better, the majority, vast majority is positive feedback. So we're really, really excited.
You're probably living the best time as a band, right? In your career.
One um, right now we are for sure doing more and getting more interaction as a band than we've ever gotten before. We are getting more listeners, we're getting more people giving feedback, we're more positive messages from people. And to be honest, like, if people don't like it but they're listening, that's great. I'm okay with that. If they're hearing it and they don't like it, that's cool with me. But there's very little of that. It's mostly positive, and it's the most interaction and the um most plays, the most listeners that we've ever had. So yeah, it's the biggest point in our career right now.
You guys deserve it.
Thank you.
And as we said before, the album is called "Oh, What the Future Holds," and in my opinion, that "Oh" makes all the difference because it allows a lot of interpretations. It can be melancholy, it can be sadness, or at the same time, it can be confidence and hope. Was this your intention? If this make any sense?
I would say I like leaving that kind of stuff up to the interpretation of the person who's listening. I'm a big believer that while we write our lyrics to have a specific impact on people, it doesn't mean that they are going to interpret it the way we want them to. So to me, oh, what the future holds means like, we're fucked kind of thing. Like we're, it's a very dark and hopeless kind of thing. Whereas another person or might read it and say, oh, what the future holds, like this is like positive, like
Yeah.
could this be better, can we have hope for a better future? And like you said, there's no rules on how people interpret it. I think it's up to the individual, but for sure it's the darker side of that for me
Yeah.
and for the band as well.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that it's one of the most introspective album and one of the best reflects of your personal struggles as human beings and as a band? Uh, I mean, all the albums have a really strong message, but this one seems to have even more.
I would say every record becomes a little more personal. That's just the natural progression of things. And every record, um, you have new life experience. From the year and a half between writing a record, you could have a different approach on sending them the same message because of your experience in life. And the past 2 years have been insane for the entire world.
Yeah.
So this record is definitely more it's a deeper record. Lyrically, it's darker. It's got more um there's more feeling behind some of it. When you listen to the lyrics, the way they're sung, the messages that are being sent, it's pretty intense if you take time to listen to it. And I think Will and Joe did a really great job, like with the lyrics and the vocal patterns, and Joe's emotion really came out in the lyrics and the way that he sings them. So I think overall there's a lot more feeling, and not that we didn't have a lot of feeling to begin with.
Yeah.
It's always been there, but this record's a little different. I think it's coming out in a time where people need it, and I think we needed it. It's a catalyst for us to deal with the issues that we're all currently going through. And I think it's an important record for the band, and I also think it sends a really interesting message. So it's a good record. I'm really happy with it.
It's true because I have some friends who love the band, and they say you're more than a band because it's not just about music. You're like therapy for them, like a huge friend for the dark times. So what does it mean for you?
Um, I have a lot of feelings. And the music that we play, when I see people connect when we're playing live, it does something to me to know that those people can identify with the way that we're feeling and the music that we're putting out. So while people are saying that it's therapy for them, it's therapy for us too. To
Yeah.
have a person message me and say, your music got me through this thing, or when I'm having a hard time, your music is like a light in a dark room. I've literally had people say these things to me. And like, it does that for us too. Music is therapy for the maker and the listener. It's us getting out into the world how we feel, and people that connect with it showing us in a way that we're doing something that others can connect with. So while I feel like that is super important, it's a little bit selfish too. I need that. Not being able to play shows for the past 2 years has been, I didn't realize how bad I would feel not being able to have that connection every day. So um, I think that I think it's great that people feel that, and I think it's amazing that we can connect with people who like our music. And I can't, at this point, I can't live without that. I need that in my life every day. So to everyone who says that, to everyone who says it's therapy for them, just remember they're doing for me and for us what we're doing for them. It's, if the fan wasn't there, the music wouldn't matter. If the follower or the friend of the band didn't care, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So it's a give and take. And, thank you to everyone who has reached out to say that, because that matters to us.
I completely agree with you, man. Really. You guys will do a European tour in May. Unfortunately, Portugal is not included this time. But what is like,
Yeah.
what is like to prepare and plan something that you still don't know if it will finally happen?
It's exciting and defeating all at the same time.
Yeah,
You want to be positive, right? You want to say, you know what, this is going to happen. But last year we had 8 tours canceled. 8 tours.
yeah,
My whole career over. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's really hard to believe that things are going to work. But I mean, the world is getting better. Things are slowly starting to move in a direction where we're hoping that, things will get better. And, Europe is unfortunately going through some stuff right now, but we're hoping that by the time the tour comes around, things are a little bit better.
yeah.
I mean, it's a crapshoot, man. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You just, hope for the best, plan for the worst, and it comes when it comes. Um, the guarantee is that there is no guarantee, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, the artwork of the album is incredible. I love it. So, can you tell us the story behind this work?
I mean, if you look at the cover, you can see it is a reflection of the record. It is an image that of you can look at it as a mother protecting her child. You can look at it as the earth cradling its people. You can look at it as, somewhat of a reflection of, Mother Earth deteriorating, but still cradling humankind. And there's so many different aspects to the cover. And again, it's an interpretation kind of thing, but that's what it speaks to me. It's the idea of a distorted view of Mother Earth, of nature cradling humankind, and us having no care about what we're doing to the earth while it's holding us. It's the idea of, the darker side of exactly what you're seeing. And yeah, I think Adam Burke nailed that. Go follow his Instagram. It's Nightjar Illustrations on Instagram. He's incredible, and he just gets the concept of what we want to portray with our artwork, and it's incredible. It's a really cool cover. It's not your typical death metal record cover, you know. I don't think any of ours really are. They're always interesting and like oil paintings and things like that, you
Yeah,
know. And we talk about it a lot in interviews because we definitely like a more eclectic artwork. So I'm really happy with it. It's really, really interesting.
it is. It is. And finally, thank you so much for being here once again. It was a huge honor for me to meet you. I hope to meet you soon here in Portugal too. Maybe for another interview live this time.
We love
So
that.
yeah, me too. So any last words for the Portuguese fans and Underground's Voice viewers?
Yeah, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for listening. You know, be safe out there, take care of each other, and, you know, listen to our new record. It drops January 14th. It's called Oh What the Future Holds. You can pick it up through any of our websites. You can get it through Nuclear Blast Records. And, you know, again, we want to come out and play for the people in Portugal. It's just a matter of time before we get out there. And, you know, please, you know, hit us up, comment, you know, say hello when we come out and play. Don't be afraid to come up and talk to us. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Looking forward for that. Once again, thank you. Please stay safe and see you soon.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, man. Thank you.